Anyone who has seen my overview of Journey's End will tell you that I was quite harsh in the only review I've done so far of a Dalek episode written by Russell T Davies. But make no mistake, while I have issues with Journey's End specifically, on the whole I really enjoy the Dalek episodes that the Russell T Davies era has to offer. In this video we'll be looking at my top 5 favourite Dalek scenes from the Russell T Davies era of Doctor Who. Number 1. The Metaltrons Rampage from Dalek. One of the best Dalek action sequences in Russell T Davies' initial run as showrunner of Doctor Who was also the very first Dalek action sequence of the new series, the Metaltrons Rampage after freeing itself from the cage. After using its manipulative skills to trick Rose Tyler into making contact with its casing, the Dalek is restored to life and throttles its torturer to death using its manipulator arm. After absorbing the power supply for the entire west coast of the United States, the Dalek regenerated its armour, reactivated its shields and restored its energy weapon. The real slaughter begins as the Dalek takes its time picking off Van Statten's security forces one by one, until eventually it's left alone in the corridors surrounded by corpses. While the later scene of the Dalek wiping out a whole team of guards at once is arguably more brutal, the initial showcase of the Dalek's power and ruthlessness is the perfect illustration of what makes a Dalek so dangerous. Number 2. Daleks vs Humans from The Parting of the Ways. The intense finale of The Parting of the Ways is a masterclass in how to build tension. An unstoppable army of Daleks is methodically making its way up the many floors of the game station, while the Doctor worked on the top floor to create a weapon that will destroy them. Jack, Linda, and the few humans still aboard the station willing to fight the Daleks must mount a desperate defence, and one by one, their tactics are overcome by the Daleks, and the defenders are killed. Even the innocent civilians trapped on the bottom floor of the station who refuse to fight are exterminated by the Daleks. As the defenders are picked off one by one, it becomes clear that the Daleks are practically unstoppable. Jack's final stand in the corridor after everyone else has been killed is still the character's finest moment, and the intense brutality and ruthlessness of the Daleks is illustrated perfectly. Number 3. Dalek Thay confronts the Cybermen from Doomsday. As iconic Dalek scenes go, this is definitely up there with the greats. Dalek Thay encounters a pair of Cybermen in a corridor, and the two species have a brief argument before inevitably turning on each other. It's interesting how this brief conversation highlights the fundamental differences between the two species. The Cybermen remain cold and logical, refusing to waver when asked to identify themselves, and giving a dry retort to Dalek Thay's assertion that the Daleks have no concept of elegance. Dalek Thay, on the other hand, becomes increasingly aggressive and irritable when the Cybermen refuse to identify themselves, and is eventually goaded into giving away his species name. This illustrates that the Daleks are emotive, hateful and angry, while the Cybermen are emotionless, cold and calculating. It is interesting that the Cyberman shows some evidence of a sense of humour in its retort to Dalek Thay about the obviousness of the Dalek lack of elegance, though this is just one of many examples of Cyberman programming not always being 100% effective. Once Thay rejects the Cyberman's offer of an alliance and disposes of the two scouts, Dalek Sec and the Cyber Leader have their classic scene of trading insults and threats, in which Sec declares that one Dalek could annihilate 5 million Cybermen, and that to him, the entire war was nothing more than pest control. Number 4. The Hooverville Attack and Solomon's death from Evolution of the Daleks. It's often undervalued by the fanbase, but Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks are packed with great Dalek moments. Dalek Khan's conversation with Deargrass about New York, the debate between the cult members before the final experiment begins, the secretive conversation between two cult members in the sewer, and the final confrontation between the Daleks and the Doctor, they're all brilliant. But one moment in particular in this episode that definitely doesn't get the credit it deserves is the entire sequence of the Daleks attacking Hooverville. First by setting their horrific creations on the innocent residents of the shantytown, and then by performing coordinated strafing bombing runs, slaughtering people left, right and centre and destroying the town's defences. Solomon's desperate attempts to get through to the Daleks by appealing to a sense of common good, followed by Dalek Khan's cold, murderous response, is one of the most tense Dalek scenes in New Who, and it's a perfect illustration of what makes the Daleks such relentless, unstoppable villains. Number 5. Exterminate from the Stolen Earth. Finally, we have The Stolen Earth, yet another Dalek episode packed with great scenes. The Daleks attacking Unit, bombing Manhattan and taking down the Valiant, the Daleks facing off against Harriet Jones, the Supreme Dalek emerging from the smoke of the Dalek control room to declare that the Daleks are the masters of Earth, and much more. But without a doubt the most memorable moment for the Daleks in this story is their initial reveal, the tentative realisation from both Torchwood and Sarah Jane that the mysterious alien fleet has a message for Earth, coupled with the incredible score that builds up to that first transmission, the iconic Exterminate that immediately silences everyone, and the wonderful Dalek theme swells unravels as the message repeats: exterminate, 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 and the main characters realise the full gravity of the nightmare that is descending down upon them. The fact that Captain Jack, an immortal, upon hearing those words, kisses his friends goodbye and apologises for being unable to stop their impending doom, perfectly illustrates the level of threat that the Daleks pose. They're far beyond Unit, Torchwood, or any of Earth's defences. Sarah Jane's heart-wrenching reaction as she hugs her son, crying and lamenting the fact that he's so young and yet is faced with the literal apocalypse, is chilling, and it's a great way of building up the ever-important fear of the Daleks and the existential threat they represent to humanity. What's your favourite Dalek-related moment from the Russell T Davies era of Doctor Who? Let me know in the comments below.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to
Dalek Bumps.